surround sound recordings,
I'll never forget the day when I started noticing these weapons.
With directed energy weapons. It's just demon spirit. It's really
Oh, it's fantastic.
Target individual for me. It's probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to deal with in my life. Wake up. Every time I leave our driveway, someone's always there to follow us. One of the neighbors always.
This happened. Man trusted these fallen angels. They made a deal with these angels. Come in human format.
We're gonna break molds, and this is a platform where, you know, we are gonna discuss those things, and people are gonna come, and people are gonna let go of their fear, you know, and we can help them.
And I'm like, now it all makes sense, right?
So let me ask you this question. When you said that, right, with the pastor present, what was his response?
Yeah.
What was his response?
I think it's different because it's different in a sense that I got you in traffic from the Twin Mafia to the Australian Mafia. This was, what I remember was since 1991, but I think maybe even my parents.
I had in 1999, there was an episode where, you know, that comic harassment. I think they were trying to
Purpose, you know, the game stalkers. You guys see them every day. It's about that time. A lot of things going on in the TI community. And we're gonna talk about it. We're not only gonna talk about it, we're gonna show you. She posts about it. She's a brave soul.
From Australia, man. Big shout out to everybody in Australia. Big shout out to everybody, man.
It's the return of the targeted. Got broken hearts just the thought of it. I had to suffer through all of it. Can't figure out how we started it.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Well, maybe you sensed it, that feeling that you're being watched. Well, the state has laws against stalking on the books, making it a felony.
But what if police don't recognize it? And what if it's a complete stranger who's bothering you? Tonight, Joe Conger and the I-Team investigates.
Cynthia Verbeff is moving. Her home, she says, has become a house of horrors.
I feel that I've lost my mind, I've lost my life.
Incident reports from law enforcement tell the tale. Numerous break-ins at the address. Vandalism to her car, her motorcycle, her computer. Verbeff believes she's being targeted. It's the return of the target. Got broken hearts just the thought of it. I had to suffer through all of it. Can't figure out how we started it. I feel like calling it quits. Like the chick I had my daughter with. Now everywhere I go, keep getting follow. Can't stalking is what they be calling it, yeah. Shout out, they targeting you, ayy. All of my tears, they knew, yeah. You don't know what else to do, ayy. I pray that the Lord help you through, ayy. Shout out, they targeting you, ayy. All of my tears, they knew, yeah. You don't know what else to do, ayy. I pray that the Lord help you through, ayy. I pray the Lord help them through. Pray for the talkers who never knew, cause it's messed up what they do. Whatever the devil gon' tell them to. Lie, cheat, still kill too. Whatever methods available. They targeted me with technology. The V2K rap unforgettable. Oh!
surround sound recordings,
Father God, I lose legion of angels according to your will to uncover and expose the truth in all areas of life. I lose ministering angels to the defenseless, helpless, and those who are abused. May the wicked be exposed and brought to justice. I lose angels to find all evil spirits and to close evil deeds with unbreakable chains, cover
What is going on? What is going on? What is going on, guys? We are back. We are back again with another epic installation of the NEXXTIME podcast, guys. This is an interactive podcast. This is for the TI community, guys. I have a very special guest with me today. Oh my God, very special guest with me today, man. First and foremost, I want to thank everybody for tuning in, joining us live. This is the NEXXTIME podcast, guys. I am your host, Next Level, man. To the right of me is the great, amazing Kimberly Arth. Everybody say hello to Kimberly. Welcome to the podcast. Man, big shout out to everybody tuning in with us, man. Big shout out to Praise Jesus, Meerkat Karate. Big shout out to you, K Arth. What is going on, man? How are you feeling today?
Doing well, I guess.
All right, man. It's going to be amazing. Thank you for joining us today, man. It's just a blessing to have you join us here to the first of many installments here. Big shout out to Sal M. Man, we are just going to get right into it, man. Guys, don't forget, this is an interactive podcast, man. At any point you feel called to share or to answer any question that I may have, that Kay may have, any question at all, guys, type it in the comment section. We also do have a phone number where you can be streamed on the podcast live if you feel called at any time to share. Man, or you want to just show support, you know, for Kim or me. I know you guys have seen amazing interviews with Kimberly. She's done interviews with Meigs B, Romola D Reports, man. She's a targeted individual, man, and we're just gonna get right into it, man. So Kim, thank you so much again for joining us, man. And I love you, Kim. I just want you to know that, man. You're one of my favorite people on this planet, and I want to thank everybody for smashing that like button. Big shout out to Luke2334, man. Welcome to the podcast, my friend. This one is for you. Right, man. So Kim, man, so how long have you been experiencing this thing we know as gang stalking and how this targeted individual thing? How long have you been going through this for, my friend?
Pretty much my whole life. I didn't understand at first. And then realized now, after I started to figure out what was going on, that it seemed to have been all my life. I just thought I had a kind of run of bad luck. And everything seemed to go wrong with my life. And all of a sudden, things started to make sense. When I was in Germany, where I found MK Ultra and various other stuff.
Okay.
Because I was looking in my family history.
Okay.
And it looks like my grandfather was involved in Operation Paperclip.
Okay. Operation Paperclip. Wow, that sounds dangerous, man.
So that was the program where they brought the Nazi scientists over here for the MK Ultra program.
Okay. Okay. Wow, man. So you definitely had an attachment to this whole thing, man. I'm terribly sorry that, man, this has been affecting you, man. But we have something in common, Kay, because it's been affecting me my whole life too, man. My whole life. And I've actually I don't know if you guys know, but Reddit, they have some subreddits, some TI subreddits in there, man. I can encourage everyone to check it out and you know, to see what it's about. Some real TIs in there. But I talked to, well, actually I made a post in there, Kay, about how I was targeted since birth, and I don't know if these guys were perps or not, but they were like making comments and, oh, nobody's targeted from birth. What are you talking about? What did you do? Piss the doctor off and didn't come out too long? I'm like, oh my God, man, this is crazy, man. So, okay, when did you start to notice, you know, as far as like the gang stalking and like when did you start getting zapped with directed energy? Like when did that take effect in your life? When did you start to notice it?
have to say it's ever since childhood. I just didn't know what was happening.
Okay.
But I always pretty much zapped with electric shocks my whole life. I just like your body's electric, something you have no idea.
Wow.
And then those incredible side pains where you feel like your guts are being ripped out.
Right.
You know those? Yeah, I had those ever since childhood, and I couldn't figure out anything was wrong. And so I think that may have been directed energy weapons, possibly.
Yeah, man. I could definitely agree with you on that, my friend. Man, big shout out to everybody tuning in live, man. This is gonna be an amazing podcast, man. If you guys don't know who Arth is, man, she is amazing. She stands up for the TI community, man, and she's here to share her truth and to share some insight about what is going on, things that you guys need to know. Man, so as far as you know, your relationships, man, how did this program affect your relationships earlier on in life? Not looking back on things now, like how did it affect things?
Well, you don't really understand what's going on, but I think slander campaigns going on in my life.
Okay.
Not virtually, but basically like ever since school.
Wow. And what kind of things were they saying? Like, what kind of things were they saying with this slander that came with it?
Well, at first you don't really know, and to this day I don't entirely know. It's like some people would just get all mad with me and all this stuff and didn't tell me anything. There's been a couple times where all of a sudden I finally can't handle it, and they just kind of blow out steam and yell at me for things I never did, and it's like, where did this come from?
Right.
And that's how I found out about some of them saying that I'm slandering other people and saying things about them, which isn't true.
Right.
But I was told years ago if I didn't shut up that they were going to dump child porn on my computer.
Whoa.
So I imagine that file may be used.
Oh my God. Oh my God. What did you get? Did you get an email or something, or did somebody like personally contact you?
Oh no, they approached the church actually.
Wow.
They actually approached me. And another guy who was a doctor, he said he was 6 levels above top security, and that's what he actually did to people, is he dumped child porn on the computer.
Wow. Oh my God, man. I am so sorry to hear that, Kay. I am so sorry to hear that, man. So, okay, so you stated earlier that your family was involved in Operation Paperclip. So, do you think they had any knowledge of this program that was going on? Big shout out to Deb Olson too. I see you, Deb. We love you, man.
I really didn't understand what my mother was saying kind of under death, but besides now, she was molested as a child.
Oh, wow.
But now I understand that's part of the programming that happens. So I believe, and looking back on her life and all the weird things that happened to her, I think that's part of, she was part of the program.
Wow. Man.
When I was starting to do research on the background of how this stuff works, they always introduce continual traumas in your life.
Okay.
Family members, various other things, and now all of a sudden things like kind of, I always say, respect.
Okay. Okay. Definitely, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Man, so was there ever a point once you understood what was going on in the program that you tried to reach out for support, to tell people, you know, this is what's happening to me? And did you get the, oh, you know, you're just going crazy, or you're paranoid, this isn't really happening? Was that a situation that you ran into?
No, most of the time I actually was wondering, you know, I must not be doing something right. I must try harder. I must do something different.
Okay.
I couldn't quite comprehend the problem until I was in Germany, and then I found out about it, and I ended up on, I've been followed for quite a while. Friends of mine would ask me not to show up because they felt I was being followed, and they were uncomfortable with me being around. They didn't like it. And so I knew something was up, but I figured it was because I walked onto something that was similar to a camp in downtown St. Paul. I had just seen something from like back years ago. It was probably like, oh my word, at least 10 years ago. I saw something on the outdoors talking about something like about FEMA camps. I had never heard about a FEMA camp. And I found something very similar attached to the post office in downtown St. Paul that was very similar to the walking around looking at things, and all of a sudden this jogger came out of nowhere and tried to hit me going through, and this other car came in and all of a sudden started glaring at me and took my license plate number down and everything. It's like, now, this is pretty weird. And then after that, I started getting followed by all these trucks, particularly white vehicles. And it's like, what the heck is going on? Because, you know, they look like construction vehicles, but you can tell the name is pulled off on the side of the vehicle. Like they're not advertising what they're doing, which I thought was rather peculiar. And I went to my priest, like, am I going crazy or something? This happened. He goes, oh no, what you're saying is actually happening to a lot of people, and I'm surprised that they declared martial law yet. And it's like, I hadn't even thought of martial law. I thought it was way over the top, and this priest knew all about it, and to several others that knew about it. And they were telling people, prepare yourself, shut the door, it's happening now. And I started noticing disappearing, particularly in St. Paul. And then I started hearing stories from various other people. If anyone saw my remote, about people who were in the military, people making deathbed confessions. My girlfriend who worked in the hospital, about underground city under St. Paul.
Wow.
Just stuff. And so I'm thinking, oh my word, I must be going crazy. Well, I didn't think I was going crazy, but I just thought, this is just totally over the top. I can't believe this is just so strange.
Right.
But I've had multiple confirmations of it. And that's where it came from. That most of it was stemming from that possible FEMA camp, but I can't even prove it was a FEMA camp. It was attached to the boiler that heated all the government facilities in St. Paul. They have one massive boiler and a governor down there. And so I thought, it doesn't quite look right here. And it's attached to the prison on top of it.
Wow.
So I'm seeing this, and it's like, oh my word, this is over the top. And then I'm talking to them, and it's like, you know, you see, yeah, this stuff is going on, and we're aware of it. And I'm like, well, why aren't you telling people? And we go, well, we're telling them to meet God at any point in time. It's like, oh, that's great. I think if you gave them something slightly more descriptive, they may know.
Right.
And I was to walk down something that clearly like a camp in the looked like the 1930s, 1940s, not even. The only difference was there weren't guards around it. It was kind of in the open. The barriers were the same, but it was kind of like an underground facility where the top was flush with the ground, so you really couldn't see what it was.
Yeah.
And that kind of woke me up. And then I ended up going on YouTube, which most guys do. And then you start to realize that there is a program with COINTELPRO. And then I started looking back and finding out, hey, wait a minute, looks like my grandfather was part of that, as I'm finding things up.
Wow.
And then so a lot of past stories that my family told me started to make a lot of sense.
Okay. Man, would you mind sharing one of those stories with us today, if you could?
Well, my mother was in a divorce with my father, and he was not the nicest person. She was pretty upset about something, and she was dead serious when she said this. She goes, I should have called my father if he was still alive, and he'd get a hold of one of his off-duty cops, and he would have taken out my father.
Wow.
She's dead. And apparently she felt fully that her father had the ability to have that done to somebody.
Wow.
And he was very tight with the Ramsey County Police, which is San Diego area.
Okay. Wow. Oh, man. If you guys are just now tuning in, man, this is the NEXXTIME podcast. It's an interactive podcast for the TI community, okay? I am your host, Next Level. To the right is my good friend Kimberly Arth. She's amazing, and we got a lot of things to discuss, man. Don't forget to hit that like button if you're not part of the family. Subscribe, hit that subscribe button, turn on post notifications so you are alerted when we go live, man. It's okay. Let's just let's talk about this website. We linked the website in the description. Do you want to share a little bit about that and tell the people what that's a little bit about?
Which one was that? Was that the Rennes one? That's the in the Dr. Day.
It's a NWO or something like that, or
yeah, that would be the Dr. Day one.
Yeah.
I can pull it up. If you look, there's a listing of the possible dystopian future that we have coming, and one of them it lists all the things that they plan in the future.
Okay.
And some of them are like difficult to treat and diagnose, and using hospitals as prisons. It goes into this laundry list of all the things that they plan to do.
Okay.
Restrictions on travel, no more security. This was done back in 1959, where a doctor was part of this. He was part of this lecture.
Okay.
They weren't allowed to take notes or anything. He wrote everything that he was planning on. And
wow. Wow.
And it seems I walked into that.
Okay. Okay.
But
wow.
One of the earlier story that I just ran across that I saw in a news article yesterday was they found police officers part of kind of an assassination squad in New York, of all places.
Hmm. Wow. In New York.
Yeah, I should send you that link.
Yeah,
that's your territory.
Definitely, man. Definitely, man. The Big Apple, man. Gee whiz,
like
man.
This.
Whew. In New York. The good old state of New York, right, Kay? Shout out to everybody that's in New York tuning in right now, man. Big shout out to Deb Olson too, man. She is shouting out T.I. Day, which is August 29th. Did you hear about T.I. Day, Kim?
No, I haven't actually.
It's gonna be a day for awareness, to raise awareness about what is going on with the targeted individual community, and to man, it's going to be some great events and things happening on that day, and we're definitely going to talk about that more on the podcast. But yeah, it's going to be August 29th, and it's going to come back every year, and it's just going to be a day that we raise awareness about this, you know, and it's going to be a good day, man. Meerkat Karate says, this targeting is the prelude to the Mark of the Beast system, IMO, man. Ooh, definitely, man. It's okay, man. I got a question for you, man. As far as your sleeping is concerned, like, do you get good sleep? Have you ever had any issues getting to sleep as far as your targeting? I know they do a lot of sleep deprivation. I know everyone's targeting is different, but I know me in particular, I have always had issues getting to sleep. Has that ever been an issue with you?
Ever since I was a child.
How far back could you date that?
Oh, probably that I know of, that I can actually remember an age really being bothered that I couldn't sleep. I'd say 5 years.
Okay. And that's definitely been an issue with me too, man. Like, I can hardly get any sleep at night, man. And when I do, I wake up and I don't feel like I slept at all. Has that ever happened with you? Like, do you wake up feeling like tired and slow to rise?
Every day.
Man. And it's definitely not easy, is it, Kay?
Especially now since the energy weapons have forever, whatever it is. It's like your whole body is excited.
Yeah, man. It's definitely not good at all. I've had situations where they've targeted certain organs, like on my side. I felt like my kidney was just sore, and I didn't know what was going on because I drink a lot of water. I drink a lot of juice. I don't really drink like Pepsi or sodas or anything carbonated. and I just kept feeling this pain on my side. You know, there was moments where they targeted my heart. There were moments when they targeted my head. Like, has that happened to you, like on specific spots, or is it like whole body attacks?
All the time, specific organs, specific places. They like to pulsate my eyes, get zaps to the head, just little like laser point things all over your body. But I had those since I was a child, and it's like I didn't think anything of it because, you know, you've always had that.
Right, right.
When you had it, you don't realize it's something unusual.
Yes, definitely, definitely, man. You just said something that was key, man. Same thing with me, you know. I was so used to feeling those things, man. I didn't know that it was abnormal, man. That was amazing. So, okay, when you first started to come onto YouTube, do you remember some of the first videos that you saw, or the first channels that you were watching when it came to the targeted individual community?
Well, I believe there was this Matthews fellow, Thomas Matthews. I think they recently took down his channel, unfortunately. He had some really awesome stuff.
Okay.
There was also TOI.
Okay.
Gal in California that I was watching.
Okay.
She seemed to explain a lot of things to me at the time. Vulcan Wolverine, I think we all kind of start out with him.
Vulcan Wolverine, oh yeah, he is definitely awesome, man. Vulcan Wolverine, I love his channel, man.
Yeah, but I never really realized it was really a program on the scale it was until Never Lose Truth. It used to be Kafka Winston World, and they put it on her channel. And she started showing evidence, paperwork of what was actually dealing with the program itself.
Okay. Definitely, definitely. And who are some of your favorite channels to watch now?
Well, mostly I watch Never Lose Truth. I watch you.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Oh my word, it's you know, I used to watch more TI programs. I watched a few of the Praise Jesus ones.
Okay.
What is that? Raz 4.
Okay.
I was watching him recently.
Okay.
Meerkat, I really liked his videos. I want to give a shout out to him.
Definitely. Definitely.
But I used to watch more than I do now. Now I'm more into the area of activism.
Okay.
We're trying to wake other people up.
Yes.
One of Mig B. I watched quite a bit of her.
Yeah, big shout out to Meigs, man. I love Meigs.
Yeah, definitely. She went out and she did what Deb Olson is on here today. She did a very good interview on there.
Okay.
That a lot of people probably wouldn't have done. She gets into some. She's a TI as well, and she gets into some of the. Shall we say satanic ritual murder and various other things that.
Wow.
And it took some guts to come up and say that, and I want to give props to Deb. And the fact that Meigs put it up is just astounding.
Yeah.
Considering how she got hit after doing the interview with me. And then it's like a lot of the current issues that she's dealing with right now came out when she was trying to just mirror the video that I did with Ramola and improve the sound.
Okay.
She's got the sound improved, and it seemed that she took a real hit for that.
Wow. Man, big shout out to Meigs B again, man. We love you, man. I definitely love you. Kay loves you. Deb Olson loves you, man. She's definitely, she's got an amazing platform, and she is blessed, man. The Lord has got his hand all over her, man. I see a question in the comments from Praise Jesus. She says, what is K Arth's view of the spiritual aspect of targeting? Speaking of the mark of the beast.
Well, I think there's definitely a spiritual aspect to this. When you look at most of the people who are doing this are Satanists.
Right.
It seemed like many of the people that I ran into in the hospital seemed to be part of, shall I say, religion. That Christianity was offensive to them. They didn't like much they actually tried to label Christianity as medicine. When I went in there, they went in and gave me they drew blood. And as they did it with the needle, I found that they left a right size. So I think they chipped me while I was in there. And then put me under, I can actually feel these jolts and very this like sharp colors in the back of my neck, at the base of my skull, and other parts of the body. So when you're like thumping or pulsing, hitting your body, sometimes if there's a spot on me that's not covered up when I sleep, all of a sudden, like I can feel it hit my whole body. So I'm wondering if there's a chip in there, cover that up. All of a sudden, the pulsating stops.
Wow, man. Yeah, I mean, like there's definitely there's definitely a correlation that you can put with these chips people have been implanted in this targeted individual program. Big shout out to one of my moderators just joined, man. Angie Pittman, man, welcome to the live stream, man. This is for you.
One of the other aspects I've dealt with is I had this MK Ultra friend.
Okay.
I knew for her father was a Freemason, and he had her and her brother state. And she started talking about some weird things happening to her that didn't make sense to me. And that was a targeted individual. It made perfect sense to me. And what it was is she got time, which would explain what a lot of MK Ultra people experience. And she actually had to go through an exorcism, and then when she was going through that, all of a sudden a van drove up. She got pulled in the van, she disappeared, no one ever saw her again.
Wow.
So there were actually manifestations that she experienced where all of a sudden, the church actually recognized her as being.
Wow. Man.
And they don't do that to hardly anyone. It was almost impossible trying to get her to get an exorcism. Going through the church, they don't want anything to do with that. They don't admit that any of that stuff exists.
Wow. Man, speaking of the church, man, have you ever experienced any weird things in church? Like, have you ever, because I've had a lot of situations where I felt like I was getting gang stalked in church, and some situations happened there. Has that ever happened with you, Kay?
Oh, definitely. I deal with directed energy weapons in the church. Somebody hit me with like an ice dart at the bottom.
Oh my God.
In there. But the moment it hit me, I felt like a sack of potatoes, and all of a sudden I got extremely nauseous for about 3 hours, and then I got back to normal. But they actually hit me with something.
Wow. Oh my goodness, man. I'm sorry to hear that, man. Was that only a one-time thing that happened, or was it like...
well, that particular incident was a one-time thing.
Okay. Okay.
Where I got hit with that ice dart. But other than that, other than what seemed to be slander campaigns,
okay.
People were kind of see you, but you really don't know why.
Right.
And that ice dart, that was about it. But I didn't go back to that church after that.
All right, good deal.
As far as I'm concerned, pretty much most of the churches are already corrupt anyway. They've been so infiltrated. I don't think there's any that have touched.
That is a fact. That is a fact, man. So, what would you say to the person who just found out that they're targeted, and they're scared, and they're searching for answers on YouTube, and they come across this? What would you say to them right now, okay?
Well, I think one of the benefits that I always had is I didn't really know what was going on, and perhaps that protected me to a certain extent. So I'm not going to go crazy and run to a psychopath and say, oh my word, this is going on. Or I'm not going to be saying a number of things, and they aren't going to think I'm crazy. After I walked on that FEMA camp looking thing in downtown St. Paul, started getting followed, I started getting pretty scared. I didn't know it was a program or anything. I thought it was just because I may have walked on that particular thing. I didn't even know what the TI was or the TI program.
Okay.
And I ended up getting followed and stalked, and other people are noticing it, and all kinds of weird stuff is happening to me.
Right.
One day, I was in a chapel, and I was praying, and it's like, Lord, I'm even afraid to go home.
Right.
And I opened up the Bible, and it got to that part, I can't remember if it was Matthew or Mark, but Christ healed the eyes of the blind man.
Okay.
Where he took the dirt from the ground and he put the spittle in it, rubbed his eyes, and it's like now you can see, which is very appropriate. Now I can see. I never realized that could even be a possibility in this country. I mean, this is America. This doesn't happen here.
Okay.
And he goes, and after that, in the translation I had anyway, it's home.
Okay.
I closed the Bible. I left there. This I got followed to this church in a snowstorm.
Wow.
Following me, they blocked in my car where there's about 300 spots. And this is where I was starting to get scared.
Okay.
And after that, I closed the Bible, put it back on the shelf. I left. I never felt scared again.
Really?
No, I'm you know, things may upset me, anger me.
Right.
But that's not scared. All I can attribute to is God, is His grace. Because even when I was in the hospital and they were trying to commit me to false charges of someone that the doctors knew was mentally ill,
okay.
They weren't allowing me witnesses. They weren't going to allow me my medical records. They weren't going to allow me to submit evidence. They own my lawyer. They own the judge. Forced the hearing. I mean, these people really wanted me out. First, all the weird stories that I ran into before that, too, was a contributing factor to me being them trying to commit me. They really wanted to take me down on just the most bizarre things. And they gave me a diagnosis of 12 different ailments. When they found out that I worked in a halfway house for schizophrenics for a while, all of a sudden they changed the evaluation, and they by the time they were in, the only mental illness they listed that I had is that I and that's what they sent the judge. And it turned out I had an independent test when I left. I did have Lyme disease.
Wow.
So you know how they messed the medical as in our medical test as TIs. They could get any of my ailments, but yet they still charge the state $200,000 not to treat me, but try to commit me and actually. No, we went into summer before. Basically, it seems like our medical system is purely for abuse. It's not for help. And when I was in the hospital, all of a sudden I was finding out as I was talking to other people that were in there, 1/3 to 1/2 of them I would suspect were targeted individuals.
Okay.
The stories that they were describing.
Wow. Man, that is something, man. That is something. Hey, Kay, by any chance, would you happen to have any, like, headphones that you could pop in?
No, I don't.
Okay. It's cool, man. It's cool. Just...
Does it sound bad?
Well, no, it doesn't sound bad, but it might, you know, it might be a little clearer, but it doesn't sound bad at all, man.
They usually mess with my picture and mess with my sound really bad.
Man, we are rolling, man.
I'm getting it as we're talking right now.
Man, I get
it much fun. Of course, it's like if I stop moving, if I sit anywhere or anything, you can start feeling that life pulsating feeling.
Wow, man. Do you guys ever experience that feeling Kay is talking about? Because I definitely go through that sometime from time to time. Man, so Kim, man, what is your faith? Like, what do you believe as far as, you know, the spiritual aspect of life?
Spiritual aspect?
Yeah.
Well, I believe that you need Jesus Christ, especially if you're in this program. And a lot of people get upset with you saying that. but I believe that there were supernatural interventions to get me out of the hospital, and there were some people out to take me down.
Okay.
Especially, mostly what they want to do is discredit the stories that I told, even though they weren't my own stories.
Okay.
I was just repeating what someone else told me. They actually wanted to get me out of the way. Most of it was because when they put me under in the hospital, I think they were full of chips. And later on, when I got out, I recently found out the hospital that I was at, the guy who owns it, is this T. Denny Sanford, excuse me, S-A-N. And he's a big investor in the South Dakota University, where they have this thing called Mad Labs.
Okay.
And what it is, they're putting and implanting people, and they're working with the NSA. So it turns out, I was listening to one traditional Christian site. They were talking about the reason that they were given why everyone got supposed free health care was to make sure that they got shipped.
Okay. Okay. Definitely. Man, I just want to give a big shout out, man. I see some new viewers here. Big shout out to Pilgrim's Progress, man. Welcome to the stream, my friend. Man, and I see big shout out to Luke 2334. Man, she's got a question. Man, do you think in the early stages a new TI might find all the videos to be part of the new situation? That's what worries me for new TIs. How can we reassure them in that initial fear stage? That is a great question. Big shout out to you, man.
I think something that you can incur is when you get this program, suddenly you start running into people that may be going through the same thing, and there is a very good chance in the initial stages people who are coming forward and seeming to help you are fake TIs. And then it can be used to manipulate things to take you out. Okay. So it's very hard to trust in this community. And one of the things I did think saved me when I was in the hospital is I never once mentioned TI.
Okay.
Never once. And I stick to the situation what I was going through. And you have to be very careful about what, because they're going to immediately try to give you and pack you away and put you on meds, and that can really screw you up. A couple friends of mine have basically been used by the psychiatric industry for and then their body gets addicted to stuff and they can't get off of it.
Okay.
So as far as I have to say, for comforting them, I best comfort in knowledge and God. I don't think I could anywhere without God, because when I was in the hospital and there was someone going through a similar situation that I was right now, they're kind of on this notion of both positive thoughts, slow, and by the end of their experience in the hospital, they had almost a complete mental breakdown because nothing was working for them. I felt was the realization of what I was going through and understanding and trying to get as much as I could during the situation and taking a realistic view of things. As far as I know, I was the only one who walked out. I'm not aware of anyone who walked out. And it much of it had to be attributed to God, because the nurse was involved to get me out when there were so many things against me. There's no.
Definitely, man. To answer Luke 23:34, let's see here, man. I'm gonna give my opinion on this question, man, because I think that was a very good question. And guys, if you have any questions for me or Kimberly, Arth, man, type it in the comment section. I promise you, we will get to every question, guys. Okay? And we might have some questions for you guys as well. And if I ask any questions to Kim and you guys feel called to answer, type it in the comment box, man. Type it right in, or you can give us a call and we'll patch you in right now. The number is streaming right now, right across the thing. So let's see here, man. Do I think in the early stages of a new TI, I might find the videos to be part of the new situation? That's what worries me for new TIs. How can we reassure them that in the initial fear stage? Okay, so for me, I'm just going to answer from my point of view. I know when I came to YouTube and I found these videos, man, I found the real information to be very refreshing to me, because for one, I thought I was going crazy, okay? Like, I was going through all this stuff. I was getting gang stalk. I was having V2K. Like, it was crazy. Like, all around, my life was in shambles. Like, my relationships, my family, nothing made sense. And for one, everything made sense. I got to see that I wasn't the only person that was going through this, and it was a moment of clarity for me. Now, with the shills and the plants and the people who, oh my God, the signal's coming through my water jug and it's connecting to the speaker. Like, those people that you see on YouTube, those people were like, like right away, I'm like, man, it just didn't seem right to me. I'm like, because I wasn't like that. It wasn't nothing about my targeting that ever, so I kind of didn't watch those videos. There were a lot of things that I saw, like interview with Dr. Eric Karlstrom, Romola D reports.
Just good information, Romola D.
Yeah, man. There was a lot of informational videos that helped me out, man, and I thank God for them. And there were some TIs who came and really put their story out there, and it really helped me to understand what was going on. And and it didn't stop, like nothing stopped, but at the same time, like I thank God for them for being brave enough to come and tell their stories and share the information that they knew, because it helped me. Not only did it help me, it inspired me to want to speak out, along with situations that I saw that was going on around me, and it just like frustrated me so hard. I just felt like I had to use my voice to speak out against what was going on. And whether people choose to accept it or not, it's on them. But I just think every TI who came before me and thought to speak out against this, because before I saw these videos, Kim, I thought I was going crazy. Like, I thought I was literally nuts, honestly. Like, I didn't know what was happening, and it was just a circus of craziness that was going on everywhere I went. Like, I couldn't outrun it. I kept moving around the state. I kept changing cities and moving around, and it just kept getting worse and worse, man. So I can't speak for everybody else or all the new TIs. I can't say they're new TIs. They're just figuring out what's going on in that stage. But what I can say is, for me, it really helped me. It really helped me, and I was able to decipher, what was real and what was, the signal is coming through my left pinky, and it's, I know you guys see that all over YouTube, and then you have a lot of so-called TIs, right, Kay, who come on and there's no such thing as directed energy weapons. It's just demon spirits. My faith in Christ, my faith,
Yeah.
I saw that too, and I saw a lot of so-called TIs laughing at real TIs and throwing them under the bus and dismissing them for, what was going on with them, and it was really hard for me to stomach that. Like, it really upset me a lot to see people doing that on live streams and carrying on that way and making a mockery and calling people out. Okay, like, do you feel it's necessary to call people out? This one's not a fake TI. This one's a fake TI. That one's a shit. Like, do you feel like that's necessary, Kay?
Considering what I know with biological ops, some of that may be for to save others, because a lot is designed to make it crazy. Right. That's what the program is designed to do, and to make this fair. If you look at that one one thing that I was mentioning, the idea is to take them out of the prison system or through the mental health system, or there's sort of accident to take you out. I was basically years ago, I didn't pick up that some accident would happen to me, be taken out in a mental institution or some sort of
wow, man.
prison. But it's one of those things where they want to scare you, and the more local you are, the more likely you are going to.
Yeah.
If anything does happen to you, it'll verify everything you say.
Yeah.
And we're into those individuals dealing with foreign troops here.
Okay.
I don't think we have a lot of time. I think much of what's done is put us away as quickly as possible. People don't realize that we're essentially in this program. We're meant to be taken out. And many people that are here, let's just say I ran into this one guy who talked about working with the foreign troops up in North Dakota, and there were 600,000 of them that were up there. And 600,000, they're basically J. Helm was an operation, and it sounds like what the J is they're taking out, it's a genocide program where they're taking out TIs nationwide. Many people are unaware that they are TIs. They just think they're in a lot of trouble. And so the idea is to die due to some accident, or what if it's suicide, various other things. The idea is to drive to suicide. That's the ultimate goal, and they just kill as many people as they can. And that was one of the things I was talking about earlier. There are many other people to help us in that. It seems like the big target right now is the gun rights organizations, people who are gun owners. They're being packed away now as TIs.
Right.
So if we cite comments about make comments about TIs and spread knowledge going on to our issue, target community, and spread it to the gun rights activists and say, hey, wait a minute, this is what's coming for you.
Right.
I was watching this Impact clip, so they got 517,000 subs, and they took them in the comments section. We're talking all over the place. They were talking about these gun owners are being taken out on anonymous tips, and all of a sudden they were under 72-hour holds and their guns were taken. Oh, if you're looking at a group that you think might want to help you, yeah, I think a good place to work would be gun rights people. Okay. Those are the people the government is most afraid of.
Right. That is a fact. That is a fact. Man, we want to thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys are just joining us, this is the NEXXTIME podcast, man. I am your host, Next Level. To the right is my good friend Kimberly Arth, K-Arth, a.k.a. K-Arth the Great. We are here to talk about what we need to talk about for the TI community. And I just want to give a big shout out to Pilgrim's Progress, man. He is giving us some amazing questions here. I had to scroll up, man, because he has some amazing questions, and we're going to go through them all, man. If you guys have any questions for us, you can type them in the comment section. This is an interactive podcast. You guys can actually call us up right now if you want to, man. There's a number streaming across. But he says, let's see here. He said, how did K-Arth and Next Level find each other? Okay, so what I'm going to say, the first time I saw K-Arth was on Romola D's channel. Guys, if you guys don't know who Romola D Reports is, she's amazing. She's got a channel. She interviews a lot of TIs, a lot of activists, a lot of people who's speaking out against not only targeted individuals, but just corruptness in the world. She just shines a light on that, man. And she's actually heavily targeted herself. But Kay, I don't know if you noticed, but I actually watched that interview live, and I was captivated. I was like, oh my God, I'm just watching the whole interview, man, and I thought it was amazing, man. Romola D is actually one of my good friends, man, and I'm actually a moderator on her well, whenever she goes live, I'm a moderator on her channel. That's the first time I saw Kay, and I've just been a fan of her ever since, man. I just love her. I love her energy, and I pray for her, man, and I know she's going through a lot, but that's the first time I saw Kay Okay, when was the first time that you saw me on YouTube?
Well, actually, I started seeing your comments around before my interview.
Okay.
When I saw your comment on my thing, I just started following you through the comment section.
Okay.
I think the best people to look at first are the comment section, then go to their channel and see things up there. A lot of times, many of us may not have anything up there. I don't have anything up there. I keep losing YouTube channels.
Okay.
If anything, they keep changing the passwords on me like they do Andy B.
Big shout out to Andy B. Big shout out to him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was one of the guys I was watching in the beginning, actually.
Okay. Definitely.
Omniscient one as well.
Who was that, Kim?
Omniscient, I think, is the channel there.
Yeah, that's an amazing channel, by the way. Yeah, that is an amazing channel, man. I love that channel. Man. Pilgrim's Progress says, how did you get into converting targeted individual next level? Man, it was, you know what, man, like, oh man, I don't know if I don't let me see, man. How did I get into it? I was born a TI, man. I was definitely born a targeted individual. I didn't come to figure out what was going on. I didn't know about the program until last year. It was like May of last year is when I found out what was going on with it, man. So I was actually born into the program, unfortunately, man. And it's just a sad situation, man. How did do you remember what time, like what time in your life exactly that you found out about this program that is targeted individuals gang stalking?
I think I first noticed really weird things happening, but I had no idea what it was. I didn't correlate anything, and that was after I had this boyfriend who left the NSA. Some weird things were happening. That's where you have the harassment from the neighbors, noise campaigns, and all that other stuff. I'd walk out of the house and I'd see the van there, and thinking, wow, I thought I lived in a neighborhood. There must be drug dealers around here or something. It's like you don't always add two and two together. It's like years later you look back and it's like, oh my word, that was a program I was going through. I had no idea. You know, break into the apartment. I think I was poisoned a number of times with both, and you get super sick and it's coming out both ends, and you can barely stand up, and you just think, oh, I just have food poisoning.
Okay.
You don't correlate where you may have actually literally been poisoned.
Oh,
wow. Most people can't figure out that they are targeted individuals. I think it was for a long time targeting, but I had no idea what it was.
Okay. Man, big shout out to the Wisdom Cafe with Lisa J. I see you. Lynette DiPontio, I hope I said that right, DiPinto. And my guy, Awakened State of Mind, targeted in Australia. Man, big shout out to you guys. Welcome to the podcast. Let's go. Man, thank you guys for joining us. Everybody that's watching us live, man, we love you guys, man. Thank you guys, man. Gee whiz, man, the comment section is on fire right now, okay? It's on fire, man. Let's see, man, what is my friend saying here, man? Uh-oh, it just kind of clicked off on me a little bit. All right, they're attacking my my screen over here, man. Man, I'll get to the comments in a section, though, man, in a second, though, man. Big shout out to everybody that's tuning in with us live, man. This is NEXXTIME. This is the podcast, man, for TIs all around the world, man. If you guys actually want to be a guest on NEXXTIME, man, all you got to do is hit me up, man. My contact information is in the description at all times, guys. You can call us up right now if you feel called to join in, or you have, you know, you just want to give people a shout out, man. Give people a big up, man, because that's what we do here, man. We're all about uplifting. Let's see here, man. All right, so Lisa, the Wisdom Cafe, says, as far as fake TIs, you will know them by their fruits. That is definitely the truth. Plain and simple, trust is earned and does not happen overnight. Most fake TIs cannot stand the test of time. Man, that was awesome, man.
I'd say people that I've met actually have gone through the comment section of TI sites. all of a sudden you find a commonality, and you start watching channels, or they may not have any content or anything, but the comments that they make themselves
Right.
really speak to who they are.
Yeah, man, there's like a, some, you know what, Kay? I'm glad that you said that, because some TIs think that, you know, just because people don't have videos on their channel, you know, that people are automatically a perp or a fake TI, and that's not the case, right? Some people are just on YouTube and they don't post, but, you know, they are targeted. And, you know, so guys, if you think like that, please, I'm just gonna ask you, please, nicely, to just not think like that, and always keep an open mind to a situation. You know, just, everybody doesn't post content, but, you know, that doesn't necessarily mean that people are fake TIs, man. And I also want to give a shout out to the Wisdom Cafe, man, because, man, Lisa J, that was one of my inspirations too, man. Like when I first came on, her channel is amazing. Like her channel is so amazing, it's lit, and I encourage everybody to, like, if you got some free time, definitely check her channel out, man. Man, let's
I when I'm starting years ago, I was like really doing the deep, intense study, because you want to learn everything and find out and what other people go through and tips. It's best for the people. It's best to learn from the people who are actually living every day.
Okay, definitely, man. Let's see here, man. These comments is lit, man. Lynette says, "Hello, everyone. I trust you all remaining strong and building up your faith in the Lord. I just subscribed to your channel, Next Level. That was amazing. Thank you for subscribing, man. That was amazing." Man, and so many comments, Kay. I'm like struggling to like read them all, man. They're definitely going on, man. You guys are awesome, man. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. So, Kay, what do you think, us as, you know, targeted individuals, what do you think would be a good idea as far as, you know, because you know how they like to isolate us, right? Are you currently going through the isolation? And if so, how long has that been an issue with you?
They have been trying to put me through it all my life. I didn't understand what my place mobbing was and various other things. And I think it's pretty much a situation all my life. I don't even think about some of the stuff that you've been through.
Okay.
It's so hard to believe. I don't even feel comfortable talking about some. It's just so hard.
Okay.
You really have to speak out. Kind of like people that I've got to be friends with are other TIs, and unfortunately they're all in another state. But there's something about being able to relate to and actually discuss what you're going through and frustrations to deal with.
Right. Definitely, man, because it's not easy to try to talk to regular people about, you know, what we experience in this program. It's not easy at all, man. The Wisdom Cafe with Lisa J says, newsflash, perps are just future targeted individuals when they are no longer needed. That was awesome. That is definitely the truth, man. Have you ever heard, Kay, of you know how they have people who are targeted? Have you ever heard of them actually joining the dark side and becoming perps? Have you ever heard any stories like that?
I've heard stories about it, but no one I can name personally. I have no idea.
Okay.
I have heard those stories, though.
Okay. Definitely, man. I've definitely heard a lot of stories, and nobody, guys, for you guys tuning in, man, have you ever been approached by anyone on the dark side who said, "Oh, you guys want to stop being targeted? Well, you know, you can start being a perp," and you know, I'm pretty sure they don't say perp, but you know, you can start harassing people or something. You know, we got a job for you to start monitoring people. Has that ever happened to anyone out here? Man, I'm just wondering, man, because that's never happened to me. But yeah, I've definitely felt that. Well, I've definitely seen it. You know, I've definitely seen it happen. Luke 23:34 says, thanks for the response, Nexx and K. Didn't hear you, Nexx. Got cut off. Typical. I do have supernatural patience because of the electronic harassment. Man, big shout out to you, man. Big shout out to you, man. And Luke 23:34, man, has an amazing channel, man. You guys check that out, man. Amazing videos. Very beautiful person, man. Please check that out, man. Oh, man. Lynette says, sometimes I feel alone in my targeting, even though I do have a good and godly husband. Man, I just pray that everything starts to change around for you, Lynette. Man, you know what, Ken? You said that the isolation has been a situation for you, and it's definitely been a situation for me too. I mean, like, my whole life I felt alone, like all the way up until today. You know, like I feel alone. You know, like, you know, when we cut this computer off, and you know, and we gotta walk out the door and live our life, it's just me and Jesus, man. Like, that's how I feel, and that's why I think it's very important for us to have a platform like this where we can all come together and connect, man. Have you ever had any experiences, Kay, where you've met fellow TIs online or wherever, and they just switch up on you for no reason and start acting like a perp, or just turn their back on you? Has that ever happened to you, Kay?
I have experienced one woman I reached out to, which was a little chaotic. I think she's gone so far in the program that she may be on the verge of mental illness. When you go through so much trauma, usually there is some sort of psychotic sometimes. Not all targeted individuals survive this type of torture and not get a little messed up in the head.
Okay. Well, it's definitely happened to me, like, several times, you know, and if that does happen to anybody, man, I just encourage you guys to not hold a grudge, you know. Try to address the situation with them, work it out, but if they continue to, you know, just forgive and let go and let God take care of the rest, guys. That's my advice for that, man. You know, because, you know, you think that, you know, you have a bond with somebody, or you can relate to them, like on this TI thing, and, you know, people just switch up and want to call you a perp, or call you a fake TI, call you a Mason, call you all kinds of stuff. And I think that's got to do with the smear campaign and the slander, you know. It makes me start to question, like, who is a real TI and who isn't, you know. But I don't ever feel called to, I don't feel called, Kay, to start calling people out or making videos. Like, I've seen a lot of videos like that, and I just kind of fall back when I see it, you know what I mean?
Well, I think you have to be aware of anyone who calls for violence, because they want to make it seem like we're chaos and evils. Okay. But other than that, I think you should give people a certain chance.
Okay.
Yeah, I have been, all of them burned by someone who turned out to be a fake TI, but
wow.
Some of the nicest people I've met have been TIs, and they can shit, you know, like, I don't get lonely, to tell you the truth.
Right.
It really doesn't happen to me. I think I'm beyond that stage now.
Okay.
I run into things with so many people, and the understanding that I have right now, we have a lot of time. From the military people I used to, we're waiting for the verge of economic collapse, and we're going to have martial law, and we aren't going to have youth very long. So we're trying to unify as many people as we can.
Right.
And coming down so fast, the idea is to take us out before martial law. We're the targeted ones that they want to take out. So they're going to take us to the military, they're going to take us out through the prison system, some sort of accident, have a heart attack or an aneurysm, which these electronic weapons can cause. The idea is to have some plausible deniability.
Okay.
And we haven't got a hell of a lot of time. From what I speak to, in the area of, that I was talking to up in North Dakota, just in that one area, there's 600,000 foreign troops up there, just for that one area. these foreign troops are going to be coming out of the deep underground military bases, and we know what's going to happen. And so you better spend our time praying right now, spend our time trying to educate other people, because right now they're trying to take most people. We better help make them realize that they're future targeted individuals. Like right now, if you want to play that clip explaining what they're doing and how they want to take them out, I think that would be useful right now.
Okay, definitely. All right, well, let's get into the clip, man. This is a clip Chaos wanted you guys to see. Let's take a look at it, and then we will be right back. Okay, guys?
And give local law enforcement additional tools if an individual is reported to be a potential danger to themselves or others. Allow due process, so no one's rights are trampled, but the ability to go to court, obtain an order, and then collect not only the firearms, but any weapons in the possession of that individual.
Take the firearms first and then go to court, because that's another system. Because a lot of times by the time you go to court, it takes so long to go to court to get the due process procedures. I like taking the guns early, like in this crazy man's case that just took place in Florida. He had a lot of firearms. They saw everything. To go to court would have taken a long time. So you could do exactly what you're saying, but take the guns first, go through due process.
Wow. Take the guns first. You hear that, Kay?
I really didn't hear it. The sound doesn't working on it.
Oh, man. Take the guns first, man. Guys.
Yeah, so all this stories is crazy.
Yeah, definitely. It's in plain sight, guys. This is serious, man. It's a real thing that's going on, man. It's a real thing that is going on. Man, if you guys are...
countries took people out. They took them out to a mental institution, and those were the camps.
Okay.
That's what in Germany. People better start to realize that this is how they do it when martial law gets declared. They pick up people who are going to be the dissidents, and then they're declared crazy and insecure.
Right. Definitely, man. And then you got some guys out here who really think that Donald Trump is the answer, and he's going to actually help in the targeting. What do you think about that, Kay?
Well, he was the one who authorized directed energy weapons against civilians like 6 months before. He said, oh no, this is bad. What are you talking about? He contradicts himself all the time. He's not going to be our savior. He was the one who helped get the North Dakota pipeline through. For him, the reason that I was told by working with foreign troops is they were there to take over the water supply. And we helped them do the final thing that they had to do before martial law gets declared. They had the water supply taken over. Hey, he was key to getting that through.
Right. Man, if you guys are just now tuning in, this is the NEXXTIME podcast, guys. This is a TI community-based, faith-based podcast, man. Thank you for joining us. If you guys are watching live, thank you, man. I love you from the bottom of my heart, man. If you guys have any questions for me, Kimberly, Arth, type it in right now, or you can call us up live, man, and we will patch you into the comment to the actual podcast, guys. The comment section is on fire, man, and it is lit right now. Man, Lynette says, I need to tell you all that my husband does fully understand me. The unexpected trials we encounter due to the organized gang stalking, he does believe me, and I do notice that he is also targeted, man. Cameron, has this program affected your love life at all? And if so, would you like to talk about that a little bit?
Well, I have had a hand with killing my old boyfriend. Yeah, they pretty much destroyed most of my relationships. I didn't understand what was going on at the time. But you get where you get to a certain age where all of a sudden, and you realize you're in the program, you realize that you probably aren't going to have a regular relationship.
Okay.
And considering what I have learned, I don't think we have a lot of time. I think our main concern is to get rid of God. That's our concern.
Man, that is, I kind of feel like the same thing, you know. I kind of made a video talking about it, you know. I'm not going to dive into it too much here, but I don't think I ever really had a serious relationship myself. Do you think that it is possible for a TI and a regular person to have a healthy love life?
No.
No?
I think too much is missing where you don't understand the person's problem.
Right.
Really can't talk about it. The only person I talk about TI program other TI.
Okay. Okay. And
I don't even talk to my family. No.
Really?
Really?
Wow. Man. Do you believe that any of your other family members are targeted?
Yeah, I believe my cousin is targeted horribly.
Yeah.
He called the day in Canada. All of a sudden his car suddenly stopped working for no reason and figure out why. He deals with, they like to sabotage your vehicles. They like to cause all kinds of damage. That's what happens to him a lot. All kinds of household problems, everything that kind of like keep him poor. He has that in spades. And the person who caused the problem is the same person who caused the problem. They're perps and families. I really do believe that they're sold out by certain family members.
Wow, man. And I just wanted to ask a quick question, man. Now, do you experience any, any weird things going on with your cell phones or your laptops or computers?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
I've lost emails like in a span of less than a month. I don't get on my phone calls. Sometimes I'll get a text. Sometimes weeks after it's sent.
Okay.
I don't get on my emails. All of a sudden, things suddenly don't at particularly bad times. I actually had chatbot show up on my computer, and it was typing in, "I am your worst nightmare."
Wow.
I have my computer taken over and things like that happen.
Wow. Oh my God, man. How long have you been experiencing it? How long has that been happening?
Well, the phone problem, I didn't know that was going on that most of my life. I think that's part of how they were trying to sabotage your relationships. Like this one guy was asking me why I didn't call him back. I'm like, what are you talking about? I call all your messages, but you don't get them all the time.
Wow.
So that they sabotage your relationships. If you don't get the phone calls, the interaction is all messed up.
Wow.
And I also had this bizarre experience. Okay, so I'm on one of the comment sections of YouTube, and I'm trying to make them aware to our hold, and they write something, and I always have I'll have two screens going to see what's chat and what's not. And so on one thing I didn't check the other where it was shadow banned, and she made a comment, and it had been manipulated somehow. So what was said on that screen was different than what was said on another screen.
Okay.
Right, because all of a sudden you think what the person said, it's not at all what you said. And that was the weirdest thing that ever happened.
Wow.
I was talking to Meg, and so in this fight ensues, and then later on, it's like, I have to go back and say, I just realized you said this, and it showed up you said this on another screen. I'm sorry, I have to apologize for what I said, because, you know, that was all well intended, because you wrote something else. And all of a sudden, everything, because all of a sudden you realize that I didn't say that, and then you sound like, oh, this AI is way out of control.
Wow. Oh my goodness, man. If you guys...
So sometimes,
before
you start
go for it, okay.
realizing what you see may not necessarily be what's said.
Okay.
That's why I need, like, on one computer screen, I need a Tor browser. Another computer screen, I need a Firefox.
Okay.
And then you find out if you aren't signed in.
Right.
It's completely different. Like I was telling you, on your site, what I see on your page, one of them, I'll see a little screen where, like, something's playing immediately on it.
Okay.
And then on another screen, that won't show up at all.
Wow.
And that's your one channel. So I'll get different screens, the same channel.
Wow. Man. It is so crazy how our we go through these electronic harassments, right? It's crazy, man. I just want to give a big
happened. I gotta share this. It was on Never Lose Truth.
Okay.
All of a sudden, notification button, and it went over to her site, and all of a sudden, on screen, one link to the same video, and then the other one a different link to the same video, and completely different comment sections.
Wow.
That were having no interaction with each other. One had like 500 views, and the other had like 30 views, and then the comments were like 2 comments in one, and the other one had like 85.
Wow.
So we're ghetto certain links. So you become a subscriber, and then you may have been on some AI where just like, okay, you're going to go into this, and the other person going on that.
Oh my goodness, man. I just want to give a big shout out to Autumn. I seen Autumn join us, man. Welcome to the podcast, Autumn. Hey, Kay, while we're on the subject, man, let's talk about the great platform we know as YouTube. Let's talk about YouTube for a second, man. Like, we need everybody to be clear about YouTube, man. Like, I love YouTube, man. I'm grateful that YouTube is here, that we can come together and we can do this on YouTube. But there's certain things that we got to watch out for, right? Right, Kay?
Well, I think so.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think at some point there is, some glitches or some bad eggs there, like pulling the strings and doing things. Man, we were talking about this earlier, right, Kay? About how, on certain videos, the views don't always show up, or, when we do go live, how many people watching right now, if you guys get notified that we are live, how many people get notified when we're live, and how many people don't know at all? They just have to go clicking through. If you guys can, please help me out on this, because we really need to know this. And as far as the comments, there's certain comments that people leave. They go straight to the spam folder, and you go into there and you approve the comment and it won't show up. I'm like, they are shadow banning, guys. They are shadow banning us. But we gotta just keep pushing through, man. We gotta push through, man. Subscriber counts are chopped off in half. It's a lot of weird things going on, right, Kay?
Actually, what happened with that one site, Never Lose Truth, today. So if I that site, it's probably happening to a multitude of different.
Right. Man, big shout out to the Turtle Tribal Nation. I see you, man. Welcome to the podcast. Yeah. Big shout out to Turtle.
Turtle was the one that was the research. She was the one who found out that Stanford had the connection with the NSA and the implants that they were using.
Okay.
At some South Dakota University.
Man, big shout out to Turtle, man. She is definitely heavily targeted. She is going through some things, and she is not afraid to talk about it. You guys are going to see her on the podcast pretty soon, man. Big shout out. Thank you for tuning in, man. We appreciate you, man. Let's see here, man. Awakened State says 70% of the time he gets notified. Let's see here. Pilgrim's Process says, I get notified on this. This showed up first on a recommended video. Shout out to YouTube for that, man. Thank you, YouTube, man. Let's see here. Angie Pittman said, I missed some notifications and have gotten delayed comments. Man, it's just crazy, man. We just gotta, I don't know, man. We just gotta keep pushing through, right, Kay? We just gotta keep persevering, man. When these things happen, man, they are constantly trying to set us back, man.
Just can't give up.
Man. So, Kay, I got a question for you, man. As far as the handlers go, are there certain things that people do that you notice that will point out, like, okay, this one is a handler, this one is a handler? Is this something that you can tell the people who are watching what things to look out for to recognize who the handlers are in their life?
I'm sure I've had many in my life. I've known it. So I'm not the person to ask.
Okay.
I look at past relationships, and there may have been something there, but it's like I can't answer that question.
Okay. Okay, definitely, man. Autumn says, I don't, handlers block everything according to this. There are 12 of us watching. Well, right now, I'm reading that we're 16 watching. But, man, what did you say earlier, Kay? Remember you said about how, you know, there could be a lot more people watching than what we know?
They're segmented in different groups.
Right.
So I'll see one group that's like 50 and another that's like 100 and but actually thousands of viewers, and they're all grouped. What was it? I think it was Truth Unveiled. I think he did an article on it today that was very good, where he explained actually a program how the QAnon and they just wanted to see if you hated it, you went for it, whatever, or if you were indifferent on it. And through that, they were able to put you in different groups. The article was Lift the Veil, the QAnon experiment, psychological stuff, that was done today, and it was very good.
Okay.
It explained doing that, we're grouping up sections, and then all of a sudden what happened with Never Lose Truth today, that makes sense.
Man. And I know that you're a big lover of animals, man. I know I love animals. I know you love animals. You have cats, you have dogs, right, Kay?
Yep, I have both.
Okay. Do you think that your cats or your animals experience any of the electronic harassment?
I think they do, but it's one of those things where you prove it. So I don't know. I think they may have had a hand in killing my past dog. It was pretty upsetting to me.
Definitely.
The program is designed to destroy you emotionally in some way. But what does kill you stronger?
Definitely, man. Shout out to all the animals, man. That we love animals, man. All the cats, all the dogs, man. We love them, man. We love them. And shout out to everybody that's watching us live, man. Big shout out to you. If you got any questions for me or Kay Arth, you can type it in the comment section right now, or you can give us a call right now. The number streams across the bottom, man. We would love to answer and take your questions, man. I just appreciate all the real TIs. God bless every TI, man. I always say that, man. I always say that. So, Kay, have you ever experienced any of the workplace mobbing?
Massively.
You want to tell us a little bit about some of your experiences with it?
Not really. It was rather traumatic. It's you have the splinter campaigns going on. Everyone knows sabotage your work, talking to you behind your back, and then just to you everywhere you go. Trying to, it's just like you're thinking nobody can be that nasty.
Right.
That's generally how it is. Everyone plays me as nice people as possible, but after a while something gets in there and things screw up. It starts out nice for a couple of weeks. And I was this program, but later on I found out I was. And
that is a fact. That is a fact, man. Pilgrim's Progress says, does Kay have a support group? Do you have a support group, Kay?
Well, I know other Deb Olson is in the chat, and Turtle Travel Nation I together.
Okay.
And there's a couple other TIs that I speak to. I met them all through YouTube.
Okay.
And me is just wonderful. She's helped me out. I mean, what she's going through, I think, may be a bit of a COINTEL project right now. What's happening to her? Because I put a video of mine, and she improved the sound on it.
Okay.
I don't think a lot of people like that, especially with all the information that came on, especially with what the military people were saying and kind of how they're taking people out.
Definitely, man. And if you guys want to connect to Kay Arth, man, you guys, her email is in the description right now. We're getting a call, Kay. Let's see here. Let's see here. What is going on? It's your boy NEXX. You are on NEXXTIME Live. Where are you calling from?
Toledo, Ohio. This is Angie Pittman. Hey, everyone.
Hey, what's up, Angie? How you doing? We love you, man.
I'm blessed. Thank you. I have a question for Sister K.
Okay.
I was wondering, and I guess I can pose it to everyone in the chat room, but do you all struggle with how to pray for family members, for your family members that are targeting you? Like, I pray for mine, but how do you all deal with that?
That is a great question, man.
First, I find is they drive me crazy.
I don't hear her response.
I pray that they convert.
What'd you say, Kay?
I pray that they convert.
Oh shit. Okay, she says she prays that they convert.
Okay, that's how I handle it, because sometimes it's like you can't help but have a little, anger about it, you know?
Right.
But so I was just curious. Thank you.
Definitely, man. Thank you for calling in, man. I appreciate you, man. We love you, Angie. We love you, man.
Love you back.
But you know what? I wanna kind of shed some light on that question you asked. That was an amazing question, man. And for everybody, tuning in, man, guys, I know that this affects you guys too. If you guys want to shed light on this question, feel free to type it in or give us a call and shed some light on it. But me myself, I have been targeted by family members, which they will never admit to it, and I'm totally I'm aware of what is happening, and I've even confronted some of them, and it's turned into drama, and it's hard to deal with, Angie. Like, it really is. Like, it's hard to process that. Like, how can my own family be against me like that? Like, you would think like, this is my family. Like, this is supposed to be the people who you turn to for support, love, trust, all of that good stuff, right? But what I did was, I just kind of separated myself from them in that time of anger and emotion. When my emotions was high, I just kind of separated myself from them, and I definitely did go through some hurt, more isolation. But what I did was pray about it. Initially I wasn't. I'm gonna keep it real with you, Angie. I keep it real with you. I didn't initially pray for them, but as my anger began to fade and I began to let go, because that's a really important thing, like learning how to let go and just let God take over it. That's when my prayers, I started to pray for them, for them to open their eyes and for God to actually, for them to allow God to work in their life, But for me, it definitely took time. It wasn't like, I walked away from the situation praying for them. You know what I mean? Because it hurts, and you go through it, and I think that's a part of the targeting. It's a part of the program, it hurts, and just dealing with it and trying to accept the truth for what it is, and move forward. So, once you get through that, if you have anybody who understands or somebody that you can, that's there for support, that I would advise to, lean on them in that moment and pray and just let go. And then once you're done being upset and angry, that's when I pray for them. You know what I mean? That's how I handle it.
Oh, I agree with all your points, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely.
And thank you, Kay. Take care.
Definitely. Thank you for calling, Ange. We love you, man.
Okay.
All right, man. That was amazing. That was amazing. That was amazing, man. Kay, it is amazing right now. This is a great podcast we're having, man. I do have a question for you, man. Once you started looking on YouTube, right, and you found out about the Targeted Individual Program, right, were there other things that you started to learn about too?
I was about MK Ultra and the various other stuff. Then realized that people who brought these over were made by my grandfather, because it was Army intelligence that did it, and that was what he was. And so then all of a sudden the things that my mother was saying to me my whole life, all of a sudden the sense that she was targeted, and looking at this generational. And then all of a sudden you start looking at things. Max Spears was kind of, where he was talking about some TIs that's designed to do it in such a way where you want it to be done very covertly so you don't know. And then all of a sudden he started making sense. And you look at what he was, very key to some of the things of waking me up was Max Spears.
Okay.
He was talking about quiet weapons for silent wars, and he was saying the person who's most likely to kill you is the person who's going to take you out to dinner.
Okay. Okay. Definitely, man. I know me personally, man, I just started learning about so much, man, after my eyes were open to this targeted individual, this program that they got going, man. It's crazy. It's a crazy one. Sal M says, Lisa J, I asked a perp the other day, do you prefer freedom or false security? He said freedom. WTF, I replied, to me, because they think they are keeping the nation safe, including domestic terrorism. Man. Lisa J says, I truly believe that most family members are the victims of vile threats, such as job loss. These handlers use threats, intimidation, and fear to keep control over others. Man, that was awesome.
Kind of had something to that statement, though. When I was in the hospital, and I think my father was kind of one of my main abusers most of my life.
Okay.
He was going to help me, and he was threatened that if he helped me in any way, my father would send the IRS after him and ruin him for me.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, man, I am so sorry to hear that, man. I know that was not easy to get through, Kay. When you are so strong, man, strong and brave to even, you know, speak out against that, man, and I give you so much respect, Kay. So much, man. If you guys are just tuning in, this is the NEXXTIME podcast, okay? This is a TI community-based podcast, man. Faith-based podcast. It's for the people. It's for you. Not just for me. It's for you, man. It's for you and me and the community, man. So, where you live, Kay, did you grow up where you live now, or did you end up moving there at some point in your life?
I pretty much was stopped out of many areas, and I ended up here and staying with a friend right now.
Okay.
Because they pretty much destroy everything in your life.
Yeah.
Take your job, take your health, take everything.
Yeah. They definitely do, man, and it's not easy to go through at all, man. So as far as the perps, and what kind of things do you see in your area where you live as far as the perps? Like, do you have like some perpy neighbors that are like doing some gang stalking, or do you see them following you at your car or wherever you go? What kind of things do you go through out there where you live, Kay?
You know, I don't even waste my time looking at about a lot of those things. Yeah, it could be interpreted that. I have a lot of very rude people up here. I just that way.
Wow. And
a lot of other people are kind of like afraid to say it to me. But I'm not going to go to the point of where all of a sudden thinking everybody is up to get me, and I'm going to dignify that. My main concern is waking other people up as much as I can, because I don't think we have a lot of time. I'm not going to. I was explaining to you at one time, it was kind of like that movie As Good as It Gets, where at the end the guy is describing that he's drowning here, and they're describing water. Okay. Well, we're all drowning, and we don't need to know that everybody's in pain, because we already know we're all suffering in some sort of way.
Right.
How can we make it stop? How can we make other people aware and move forward? It's kind of like, I know I'm being attacked, but everybody else is being attacked as well.
Right.
You know, I may die of these directed energy weapons. I may die of a car accident tomorrow. I don't know how to go, but I got to fight as far as I can, as long as I can.
That's right.
I learned with the camps, and that one military said there were fully activational camps now. These homeless are being processed, and they're being over 1 million people go missing every year in this country. a lot of there's that Alexander Bachman, who's for the border. He's that Protestant preacher in Mexico. He says there's mass graves all around the border. I mean, a lot of these guys, the reason they have open borders, let them get through.
Right.
There were those 37,000 kids that were brought up from South America, and they were in the some sort of detention camp, and all of a sudden they disappeared, and they wouldn't even let a congressman see them. What the heck happened to them? Well, according to this one military guy, there's 8 fully activational camps. Most of them are underground, and that was a year ago. Okay. How many are open now? We're in the end game. And from what I've learned from this one military guy who's working with foreign troops that are up in North Dakota, they're just biding their time. All they have to do is take water supply, and all of a sudden, anytime they're ready to come out, all they need is basically just first they want to have economic collapse, and they want to start a civil war. So and the 2 Masons that I ran into that helped build one of these camps at Camp Ripley, they said the idea is protest, and it's for the anti-war people. They're going to be taking these buses, and they're going to be taking the facilities. They're going to wait for you to come to them so they can take you out, and all of a sudden you're just going to disappear.
Wow. Man, I hope you guys heard that, man.
This is going down now. Talking about, oh, we're going to get this lawsuit. They own the courts. My father was an attorney. My grandma was clerk in the court. There wasn't a single court case that didn't go through Ramsey County. In my instance, what I found is pretty much virtually all the judges are owned by these people. So all of a sudden you're going to get this court case, and you're going to move it forward. And what they're going to say is when you present things to them, they're going to say, oh, that evidence is inadmissible. It's going to be a skewed legal process. And on top of it, what they're going to say is, okay, now precedent has been set. These people are crazy. We're saying well, and they have a real jury,
right.
And they judge. Where's that going to take you? And so then they're going to get lawyers on your side that they're going to need to take a guy for certain money or some type of blackmail.
Right.
So how's it going to? You're wasting your time. You got to educate people as fast as possible. We got to get in these comment sections and try to wake up people to what's going on with these gun owners. They're worried about guns. Well, you know, the next target individuals without guns, they're going to take us down. A lot of people are to be anti-gun. So let me tell you, I want people to be able to protect themselves. And it's good if you knew the numbers of the foreign troops here, you'd be astounded. Absolutely astounded. You want to give up now. And people are talking about what in the future, you know, 2 or 3 years from now, what you see 5 from now. Let me tell you, you may not be alive 3 months, 6 months from now. No one only knows what's going to happen. So we got to educate other people. We got to right God, and we got to prepare ourselves. And these things where this pie in the sky, futuristic things, instead of worry about what's here and now, instead of worrying about, oh, I'm with this, and oh, this is bothering me, and somebody hurt my feelings. Hey, wait a minute. We got to wake up and realize that we have to educate other people and formulate some sort of support system, even if it's with other TIs, just to get by from one day to the next.
Right. That was amazing, guys. Did you guys hear? We have to educate each other, guys. That was amazing.
We have to go out. Our group is not large enough. And one group that I think is really a focus right that we could really find alliances with are the gun rights campaign.
Okay. Definitely.
So if we could get, like, when I was on High Impact Flex making comments there, go to all these gun rights sites and say, hey, wait a minute, look at targeted individuals, look at it. I think that'll make a difference.
Definitely, man, it will definitely make a difference. I just want to give a big shout out to my guy, Meditation Man. Welcome to the podcast. I see you, bro. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and watching us live, man. I am your host, Next Level, man. To the right is my homie, my pal, my friend, Kimberly, Arth. Man, this is the NEXXTIME podcast, guys. If you feel called at any time to call us up, it's a number streaming across right now. You can call us up right now, man. If you guys feel called to share, type it in. Let us know where you're from. we just want to thank you guys for joining us, man. And what Kay was just saying, that it's very important that we educate each other, man, on what is going on out here, what we can do to stop this thing, because there is a lot of things going on beneath the surface that people do not even really know about, right, Kay?
It's not looking pretty.
It is, man.
There are some things that can't even go in because they're just so far out there.
Right.
It just seems so crazy, some of the things that I've been told, that I can't even bring it up.
That is a fact. That is a fact, man. Man, oh man, oh man. Man, so since you're targeting, man, how has your faith in God strengthened? Kim, you want to talk a little bit about that? Since you discovered your target.
I don't think I'd be even alive enough if it weren't for God. I've really experienced time and space altered to save my life.
That is amazing.
I think they've tried to off me a number of times, but yet I still keep going. You know, it's I've dealt with manifestations in my life, and you got to be careful with that. Let me tell you, we're being taken right now, and you think that Jesus or heaven forbid that you have a vision or something. All of a sudden, you're going to be mentally ill and you're taken out. That's what's happening right now. In the hospital I was at, if you were a Bible-believing Christian who prayed and felt like prayers were answered, you were mentally ill. Well, you watch yourself, because we are in those days. You better work in Him. Everything that counts on Him, but you better work like everything relies on you. You got to do both. We're required to do something, but He'll take up the slack and help you through. I mean, there's no way I got through that hospital stay with. There's no way that I was able to make it through one day to the next without Him. There's no way that I'd survive this directed energy weapons without Him.
Right.
There are people who have literally told me that they were going to get me out after I heard these stories. And my one friend, Larry, I believe that he heard the same story as I did about troops up in that area. Okay. And I believe he was murdered.
Wow.
Some people fare so well in this program as we do. And he was telling people that he knew that he was being followed before he came in with this amazing cancer that came out of absolute. Very aggressive too. Wow. And then my father was attacking him like he was attacking me in the hospital.
Man, speaking of the hospital, man, let's talk about that for a little bit, man. What happened with that situation, man? How did you end up at the hospital, okay? And what kind of things did you experience in there?
Well, I think I ended up in there through directed energy weapons. I actually felt they through me like this heavy-duty radiation. All of a sudden, I couldn't keep anything down. I couldn't drink anything. I couldn't eat anything. After 30 days, I couldn't even stand up or eat. And I ended up in the hospital, and they said I had kidney failure. And lo and behold, I knew I also had Lyme. Well, when you go through the final stages of dying in Lyme, what happens is your intestines shut down and nothing can move back or forth, and that's actually what happened to me. And I survived. I'm very fortunate I survived.
Wow.
And then all of a sudden they decided, well, I think basically they busted them that they shipped me, and they were worried that when my father was attorney, all of a sudden I was immediately crazy, and they tried to commit based on thinking that I had Lyme, because they said they couldn't find out what was wrong with me. It seemed like all their tests were false.
Okay.
These hospitals are not there to help you. For TH, they're basically.
Man, what kind of things did you see in there, Kay?
Well, one of the gals that was in there, she had a very high position in the food industry for a very large conglomerate, and it was like she was targeted, perhaps position or something.
Wow.
And she was going through a divorce, and so it seemed like she was being followed.
Okay.
On evidence, you know, what was happening to her was actually legitimate. And so after everybody's telling her, you got to go see a therapist, you got to go see a therapist. And so she went to a therapist. And then when she got this evidence, she showed up there and was so excited about it. An hour early, and she was just going to wait there. She had the evidence on her. And the psychiatrist or psychologist, I don't know what it was, called the police and had her taken to the mental institution because she was there an hour early. The doctor's supposed to stop there early. Well, they're going to set up situations bizarre on the face of it. And she described everything with targeted individuals, like her car be broken into and somebody would like rearrange her glove compartment and leave everything on the side seat. You know, your furniture's rearranged or things like that where you think you're going crazy or nobody's going to believe you on things like that.
Yeah.
And like I said, 1/3 to 1/2 the people that were in there were TIs. They're described as attack as scopolamine. They're military guys that partook in genocide that our country is doing right now in Afghanistan. And so they were did the work for the government, but then all of a sudden everything turned to that. And that was the person who I mentioned said back then there were 8 base camps that he knew of in this country. The idea is the homeless are missing. What are they trying to do with TIs? They're trying to make us homeless. Okay. They're trying to isolate us, to take out. First you isolate and then you take out.
Right.
We are in a serious problem right now. And people better wake up, and they better form alliances with other teams, and they better try to wake other people up. You better be worried, not trying to talk to another perp, because they're just going to stay mentally ill, and all of a sudden you get shipped off on a Baker Act.
Man. What about the doctors, man? How did the doctors treat you while you were in the hospital, okay?
Oh, they didn't want to treat any of my illnesses. Just immediately I was mentally ill. There was nothing wrong with me. It was all in my head. I had delusional neurosis, even though when I left, I had other doctors diagnose, yeah, those and you have babesia, and I had Lyme, and you go in there, they are not going to treat you for your illnesses. At least not in Minnesota. No, you're not going to get treated, especially if you're a TI. Basically, they symptoms. When you have Lyme, you don't realize that Borrelia is the cause of all these autoimmune diseases. So MS, Lou Gehrig's, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, Lyme, they're all the same. It's all out of Borrelia. Great mixture. And so when it attacks you, what it does is attacks the weakest part of your system. And all these illnesses, they just have different manifestations. And they want to make sure that they do not treat you. And then basically what this is the Tuskegee experiment, 1,000-fold. This is the Tuskegee experiment for everybody. You get Borrelia. There was this one doctor in Germany who tested people and said 97% that he tested positive for this. Okay. Yours just hasn't been activated yet. And so when you get this and you go into the hospital, they do not want you to treat you, so you will have these tests that are not very accurate. And then so immediately you'll be diagnosed with mental illness. Right. And also you'll Baker Act and you
Man, I hope you guys heard
part
that.
That was really with the thing. It was like, okay, hospitals now be made prisons, and you have difficult to diagnose and treat illness deliberately, and you can be labeled as mentally ill. Okay. You go in there, and these doctors would not treat me no matter what, and they were interested in my heart. Found out when you have Lyme or some sort of autoimmune disease, it makes you an ideal donor because there's less likely chance of rejection. So I went in looking at my heart. It looked like they were interested in organ harvesting.
Oh man, that is crazy, man. I'm just glad you made it out, Kay, and I'm glad that you're doing a lot better than what you were previous, before going through this hospital situation, man. God was definitely with you, right, Kay?
I believe it.
Yes, definitely, man. So you said something about the Baker Act. You said something about the Baker Act, man. I'm not sure that people know about what that is. Do you want to touch on that a little bit, Kay?
When I was in the hospital, and a cousin who was a friend of these doctors, who was mentally ill, who was on medication, who was under psychiatric care.
Okay.
And she came out and said things that I didn't say, and totally manipulated everything and worded them to get me committed on false accusations. And what that is, all of a sudden they can decide that they can put you for any reason whatsoever on hold. And I was in there and I was asking the head psychiatrist, how is it possible that someone who's mentally ill that I've only known for about 2-3 hours, who is under care and under meds, how is it that she can suddenly turn me in? And he said, that doesn't matter. Even your neighbor can turn you in. Even though we knew that the person was mentally ill, they were going to take me out no matter what. And that's what's happening to a lot of people. You think you're going to be allowed to submit evidence. No, you're not. You're going to be forced to the hearing to know that it happened. And all of a sudden you're gone and you're committed. And that's what's happening now. And people better aware that all of a sudden they put you on a 72-hour hold for a TI. That can be a death sentence.
That is a fact, guys. That is a fact, man. She just touched on the Baker's Act, man. If you guys are just now tuning in, this is the NEXXTIME podcast, man. I am your host, Next Level, man. To the right is my good friend Kimberly, Arth, man. And we just had an amazing podcast, man. If you guys have any questions, man, we are getting ready to wrap things up pretty soon here, man. It's getting pretty late. If you guys have any questions for me or K Arth right now, it's the time to type them in the comment section right now, man. Or give us a call, man. Call us up right now. And, you know, if you want to shout out anybody or if you got any questions or anything, this is an interactive podcast. This is for you guys. If you're not a part of the family, if you're new here, hit the subscribe button. Turn on post notifications, man. And guys, this is just the first installment, man. K Arth will be back, man. She will be back with more information for you guys. Kay, is there anything that you want to express, or do you got anything going, or anything that you want to say to the people?
Yeah, looks like a dozen people on here, something. There's like 13 people here. You know, this number can actually be an army. You don't need that many people to make a difference, and that's why they're monitoring social media so hard. Just the people here, if they hit the comment section, and they're going to people who are interested in right. Look at my video if you can. Look at what happened and look at the reality of what you're facing. It's a 2-hour interview, but it goes into everything that happened to me in the hospital. Go into the TI thing as much, but you know that you're a TI if you're in there, and that's how they treat TI. You got to realize how we're being taken out. And if we wake other people up, and how this is being done and the reality of what's around us, we make other people aware that they are TIs as well. They just aren't aware of it yet. And the full power of this program hasn't been set on them. If we can make those people aware in the comment section, this is going on, waking up other people outside the TI network. If we have gun rights, the anti-war people, get anyone who's involved with human on this, make them aware of what targeted individuals are. The Baker Act makes a difference on them. And how close we may be to martial law, I think that would make a difference. Just a dozen people who are working, many of us are kind of thrown out of our jobs anyway. If we're making comments about the Baker Act in various capacities outside the TI network and wake people up, it could make a huge difference.
A huge difference. That was awesome. That was awesome.
Deb knows what she's talking about. She helps me with that. Turtle's now working on it too, making comment sections. Just if we can make people aware of the Baker Act and how you can be taken out. Right. And I think make people very aware, especially if they know that they should be operational already.
Right.
People are just steering all over the place. No one seems to know it.
Right. No one seems to know it. Man, big shout out to Deb Olson, man. You definitely do a lot of work as far as bringing awareness to that situation, man. Big shout out to Turtle Tribal Nation, man. Man, big shout out.
If I could take one moment, though, and talk about Deb Olson.
Okay.
People on MIGSB's site, look at Deb's interview, and you can realize how the police are involved in Satanism and kidnapping children and part of satanic ritual. If people can get aware that some people are there to help you are not necessarily there to help you.
Right. That is a fact. That is a fact, man.
This child trafficking is done by the police force.
Okay.
And that they certainly don't want out. Meg said a lot of courage to put that up.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Man, and a lot of people are not aware of that, Kay, and I'm glad you touched on that, man, because that is a real thing, man. That is a real thing, man. A lot of people think that, you know, the police department are just here to serve and protect, but a lot more is going on underneath the surface, man. And, man, it's just amazing that you were able to shed light on that situation, man, seriously. Let's see here. The Wisdom Cafe with Lisa J says, that's why those being targeted should be careful what they speak about. Authority figures such as V2K, DEWs, demons, etc. Be smart. Stay within the legal parameters. Man, that was awesome.
That's wisdom. You're right.
Yeah. Sal M says, I sense people are being aware, even silent watchers whom are truly patriots. Man, that was awesome too, bro. Man, let's see here. Great at info and advice, Kimberly Arth. Angie Pittman says that. Big shout out to Angie Pittman, man. If you guys are tuning in, this is the NEXXTIME podcast, man. This is volume 10 with Kimberly Arth. Okay, Arth the Great. If you guys want to connect to her, if you guys have any questions for her or you just want to connect to her, her email address is in the description right now. And I'll tell you guys right now, man, she does have a lot of wisdom and a lot of knowledge to give. She's a loving person, man. She loves God, man. Prayer warrior, man. Man, Kay, I just really appreciate you for coming on today and blessing us with your presence, man. It really means a lot to me. It really does. This is a special podcast to me, seriously.
Well, thank you very much for having me, and hopefully some people look at that Romola D video and those links and realize the times that we're in. This is the persecution, and but when I was in the hospital, they viewed Christianity as a mental illness, and they found it very offensive that I prayed.
Wow. Oh my God, I've never heard that. They view Christianity as a mental illness in the hospital?
Watch that video that I got into that. Real issues with me praying, and that of mental illness. I prayed too much, and they got really up and up when we were going to get together and pray together, and they said, no, you're not.
Wow, man. Oh my God, man. We're going to take a call. We got a caller calling in. What is going on? Welcome to the podcast. Where are you calling from, caller?
Hello, this is Praise Jesus here. Hello, everybody.
Hey, what's going on, Praise?
Well, I thought we would close with a prayer. I actually have 3 fairly short prayers. It feels important that we do all 3 of them tonight. So I'm going to begin with a binding prayer. And so we're going to bind our enemy here. All right, so here we go. And I'm going to speak it as a we rather than an I. So I'll do my best as I change it up as I'm reading here.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Great.
Okay, so we now bind every demon operating inside and outside of us, our body, soul, and spirit, with the 3-fold cord covered in the blood of Jesus. Specifically, we bind doubt, unbelief, blasphemy, rebellion, sin, witchcraft, antichrist, blind, deaf, and dumb spirits. We bind fear, anger, hatred, rage, frustration, irritation. We bind depression, hopelessness, sadness, unhappiness, and loneliness. We bind hunger, sugar addiction, coffee addiction, food addiction, and any other addiction you got going on there, folks, bind it now. We bind sleep, slumber, energy drain, wasting, vampire spirits, lethargy, and apathy. We bind mind control, thought control, Jezebel, Ahab, witchcraft control, octagon, and squid. We bind lust, obscenity, vulgarity, profanity, perversion, adultery, fornication, masturbation, and masturbation thoughts, pornography, homosexuality, transgender, incubus, succubus, spirit wives, spirit husbands, sodomy, rape, unclean eyes, and all sex spirits. We bind pride, big pride, little pride, and leviation. We lose spirits of judgment, burning, and destruction on every demon named and unnamed inside and outside of our body, soul, and spirit. We loose angels to bind every demon named and unnamed tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter in Jesus' name. We loose sufficient angels with flaming swords and hooks covered in the blood of Jesus to cut and pull you out continuously until every part of you and your kingdom is completely removed from our bodies, souls, and spirits in Jesus' mighty name. Father, please fill up every available area as evil entities leave with your Holy Spirit, the fruits of the Spirit, and seal off all doors of entry and exit with the blood of Jesus. Holy Spirit, please expand, expand, and expand and fill up every available within us, every available area within us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. Amen.
All right, and I'm gonna move on. We're gonna do two more. These ones are really short. The next one is a curse breaking prayer. Okay, so we break the power of evil rituals, spells, incantations, hexes, vexes, curses, hoodoo, voodoo, chants, psychic prayer, witchcraft, satanic and demonic attacks sent to us, our property, and declare them null and void by the blood of Jesus. We return them to the senders now, 70 times sevenfold, and bind them to them with the blood of Jesus. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Amen. And the final prayer is a restore our soul prayer. And so, Lord, your word says that you restore our soul. We loose your angels to remove anything within us, our bodies, our souls, and spirits that should not be there. We loose angels to bring back and restore any part of ourselves, our mind, will, and emotions that has been fragmented, and restore it, especially our memories, our gifts, our purposes, our destinies, our finances, our relationships, and anything else that you deem important. We pray that you will replace every image in us with the image of Christ. Replace every sound with the sound of Christ. Replace every word with the word of Christ. Replace every thought with the thought of Christ. We now bind our mind to the mind of Christ, our will to the will of God, and our feet to the narrow path. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
All right.
Amen. That was amazing. Yeah.
So you all have a really good day or night or sleep, and lots of love to all of you, and we'll see you again soon.
All right, man. Thank you for calling, Praise.
Thank you.
All right. We love you. Have a good night. God bless.
God bless you.
All right, man. Oh, man, that was amazing. Hey, Kim, how are you feeling over there, Kay?
I'm doing okay. All
right, man, definitely, man. I just want to thank you again, man, for coming through and gracing us this late, man. This is definitely a late nighter. We're gonna come back. We're gonna come back. You guys never know. It could be early morning. It could be late night. It could be whenever time. For next time, man. Is there anything you want to say to the people before we close out, Kay?
God bless you all. May you all be protected.
Definitely, definitely. And if you guys want to connect with Kay, man, her email is in the description. She also has an amazing interview. You guys have to check this out, man. It's on Romola D's channel. It's on Meeks B's channel. Guys, check it out. Check it out, man. And just to let you guys know, I do have some new music that's about to drop any day now. So keep an eye open for that. If you guys want to join me on the podcast, man, Real TIs, man, if you guys want to join me, my contact information is also in the description. If you just need someone to talk to, or if you're feeling alone, or if you're feeling suicidal or anything like that, because suicide is a big thing happening in the community. Kate, do you know anybody who was affected as far as the suicide in the targeted individual community?
I talked to about 4 people in the last and a half that called me and said they were suicidal, and so I had to hold it out to the end. You know, these people get rewards for us not, you know, killing ourselves. We can't. This one guy says, I refuse to allow them to home off my death.
Wow, they get rewards?
Yep, supposedly that's what I'm hearing, that they get bonus money for if we kill ourselves.
Wow, oh my God.
Places.
Oh my God, I never knew that, man. If you guys are feeling suicidal at any point in this targeting, man, please reach out to somebody. Reach out to me, Arth, Praise Jesus, Angie Pittman, the Wisdom Cafe with Lisa J, man, Deb Olson, man. We are here for you guys, man. You know, and we understand what you're going through, man. We've been in that position, man, and we made it here, and we got, you know, we got a long ways to go, man. So please, guys, if you ever are going through something and it gets that serious, please reach out, man. You know, my contact info is always in the description, man. You guys can call me, you can call my phone, you can hit me on Skype, Hangouts. You can shoot me an email. Connect, man. Do not be afraid to connect with other TIs, man. Do not be afraid, man. Because that could be the key to saving life, man. We all about saving lives, man. Leading them to Christ, leading them to the kingdom, and not being afraid, and, you know, stepping out of your shell, and not letting this targeting program keep you in a box. You know, you guys can live your life and be blessed. Never forget that, man. This is Next Time, man. I'm your host, NEXX Next Level, man. KR, thank you for joining us, man. We're gonna definitely have you back, man. We're gonna see you again in the future. Don't forget, guys, check out her amazing interview, man. Straight from the podcast, man. Go click on the link right now and check it out, man. Load it up. Let's get going, man. Big shout out to Angie, Autumn, Sal, Lynette, everybody who joined us. Big shout out to the Wisdom Cafe with Lisa J, man. I love you, man. Please get a hold of me, Lisa. Please. All right, man. So we about to get out of here, man. Kim, I love you, man. You know you're one of my favorite people on this planet, man. We're gonna see you again, right?
Hope so. God bless.
All right, man. Thank you guys for joining us, man. And I'll see you on the next one.
Surround sound recordings.
Bye.